Fusion Strike Mew has gotten a lot of attention recently, but is it warranted? Hey, Nick from 9card TCG, and today we're going to be looking at Sablezard versus Fusion Mew. I like playing Sablezard, despite it not being the best Lost Zone box deck that is available, at least right now. I just happen to really like it. I feel like I know it kind of well, at least as far as Lost Zone decks, I know it the best. And my opponent played Fusion Strike Mew. And one of the things that I really want you to pay attention to in this video is, if you watched the last video I did about Milwaukee Prep, I talked about Fusion Strike Mew kind of needing to have a balance between Judge Path DTE Mew and power, pressure Fusion Strike Mew. And that really is showcased in today's video. So this is just my, it's not a lot of data, right? It's very anecdotal. That's the word I was looking for. I'm tired today. I did a 4-mile run and my brain is fried. So there we go. It's anecdotal evidence, but I do really think that Fusion Strike Mew needs the support of Judge to help in the Lost Zone matchup, and you'll see that in today's video. I will say my opponent prized some pretty unfortunate stuff, but I really don't think that it would have actually affected the outcome of the battle. But you tell me what you think in the comments below. But with all that said, let's go ahead and get to the gameplay footage. Okay, fist bump means the gameplay is underway, and I get to draw for turn. Get to go first. We're playing Sablezard. It feels pretty good. You can see that I have a Battle VIP pass. My opponent also has one. It's just kind of a law that if I'm playing a deck that has Battle VIP pass, my opponent will have it. It's just what it has to be. So we go ahead, play the Battle VIP pass. We're just taking a minute to look through the deck. We're going to go ahead and grab probably just a pair of Comfies, and there they are. So now we can go ahead and use Flower Selecting on the Comfy. Look at the top 2 cards of our deck. Put one of them into our hand, the other goes into the Lost Zone. Getting rid of that Magma Basin, I don't think it's going to be super useful. Here comes the Escape Rope, and now I get to go ahead and swap. I only have Comfies on the bench, so it has to be Comfy, so we can Flower Select yet again. And this time we're going to get rid of the Hawlucha. I don't know if it's super necessary. I don't think it really will be. So we go ahead, play the Hisuian Heavy Ball, get to look at your prizes, take a basic Pokemon from your prizes, and put it into your hand. So we take the Mawile, and because we took a basic Pokemon, we do have to put Heavy Ball into the prizes. This way we don't gain any prizes. That's going to be the end of my turn. My opponent gets to draw for turn. We saw that they have the Battle VIP pass, but before they do, they bench another Genesect. Doesn't really matter about the order of that too much. But now they can go ahead, and they're going to see something a little unfortunate. They prized a bunch of their Mew Vs. I think they prized like 2 of their Mew Vs. Now, I know they have some unfortunate prizing here, but ultimately, I don't think it really changes the outcome of this game too much. Like, they might have been able to put another Mew into play, but I still think either way we would have, spoilers, we win this game. So I don't think it really matters a whole ton. So my opponent chooses the Mew and the Meloetta. Not really a surprise, those are both very good picks off of the Battle VIP pass. From there, they'll bench the Fusion Strike, Single Strike, and Rapid Strike Deoxys, and then go ahead, play Trekking Shoes, look at the top card of your deck. If you like it, put it into your hand. If you don't want to keep it, you can go ahead and discard it and draw another card. But it was a Nest Ball that they elect to play immediately, probably to go ahead and get a 3rd Genesect. Yep, there it is. I don't see why you'd really get anything else, especially if your Mews were prized. In a regular situation, you might not bench that Deoxys. You might just look to try to find another Mew, so you can get 2 Mews, a Meloetta, the 3 Genesects, and that's a pretty good board state. They play the Elisa Sparkle so they can go ahead and accelerate energies to their Fusion Strike Pokemon. They choose the Meloetta and the Deoxys. Interestingly enough, they choose not to put one onto the Mew. So they're going to get a Fusion Strike Energy, attach it to the Meloetta, and another Fusion Strike Energy, and attach it to the Deoxys. So they're looking to take a little bit of a single prize approach here. Then you go ahead and use Genesect's Fusion Strike system ability. Draw until you have as many cards in your hand as you do Fusion Strike Pokemon in play. And of course, they have all Fusion Strike Pokemon in play, so they can draw until they have 6 cards in their hand. They attach a Forest Seal Stone to the active Genesect. I don't know if I would go to the active. That you could see the Escape Rope in their hand, so they have to play the Escape Rope in order to keep that Genesect alive. I mean, it's a Lost Zone deck. You don't know what I'm going to do. You never know. Could I get to 7 on the next turn, drop down a Dragonite V and knock out that Drapion, the Genesect, and you lose that Forest Seal Stone. You probably have more, but still. Anyway, my opponent playing an Ultra Ball, going ahead, getting the Mew VMAX there. They feel pretty safe doing that, and then they could use another Genesect, so they thin the hand out. The reason they feel safe doing that is because they know they're playing Lost Zone. I don't really run any. There's no judge. There's no anything that's gonna disrupt my opponent's hand, so they can just go ahead and play those cards, keep them in the hand for the next turn, and kind of go from there. They played the Cramomatic, discard an item card, flip a coin. If heads, you get any card from your deck, but they did flip tails, so a little unfortunate for my opponent there. They're going to go ahead and use Fusion Strike System number 3. You can see a bunch of power tablets starting to build up boss's orders. They elect to use the Genesect's, or I guess technically the Forest Seal Stone's ability. Just going to go ahead and search their deck for any card they want. There is the second Fusion Strike Energy. They're going to go ahead and attach it to the Meloetta. So now Meloetta can attack, and it's going to do 210 damage, which is absolutely crazy. You can see the double power tablets in hand. They were able to knock out any Pokemon V or basic EX that I could have put into play. So crazy, crazy turn by my opponent there. If they were playing a 2 prize, this would have been very, very scary. Now, they do go ahead, promote the Meloetta after using the Escape Rope. I only have Comfeys on the bench, so have no choice but to promote that. But there goes the Melodious Aqua KO. I promote a Comfey and draw for turn. And we still don't have a ton going on. We have double Comfey, so we can go ahead and play the Culver's. You play the Culver's before using Flower Selecting. Why? It's because you'll have more cards in hand. You'll have a bigger hand size, so you can make a better decision off of the Flower Selecting. Because Flower Selecting, you only see 2 cards. Culver's, you see 5. And choosing 1 card of 2 is more difficult than choosing 3 cards out of 5 because you have less information to make those decisions. You also get more information about the Flower Selecting, about what the better card to pick is, because you have more cards in hand. So we go ahead, get our Lost Zone up to 4, which is very important. And then we can go ahead, use the Flower Selecting, get it up to 5. We're very close to Mirage Gate territory, where we can start using Cramorant's attack, which is perfect for us because Cramorant will go ahead and KO the Meloetta. So we can go ahead and play the Nest Ball to search out said Cramorant. Cramorant's Spit Innocently attack does 110 damage, and we can do that attack for free because we have 4 or more, in this case, cards in the Lost Zone. So all we have to do is attach an energy to this Comfey or play some type of switch card. We don't want to use Escape Rope, right? We don't want to use Escape Rope because we want to hit into this Meloetta, knock it out, which does a couple of things, right? It keeps us on a 6 prize track. And also we get rid of their Fusion Strike energies so that they're not able to, it's a little bit harder for them to attack the following turn. They're not really able to use Melodious Echo and copy that because Melodious Echo will do a fair amount of damage. So we want to reduce the amount of damage they can do with that. And now we just go ahead and hit with the Spit Innocently. We get the free retreat off of the Beach Court. My opponent sends up the Mew, which makes perfect sense. It has free retreat, so why would you not send it up? Even after it evolves, it still has free retreat, so you can use that as a pivot if you want. But no, they're just going to go ahead and evolve. We know that they have a few Fusion Strike energies accounted for. There's 3 in play already, and you might not be able to see it, but I can see it. There's 1 in the hand, right? So my opponent's going to go ahead and get the Power Pads, get those Elisa Sparkles back into the deck, which really doesn't seem like something you want to do. If 3 of their Fusion Strike energies are accounted for, 2 in the discard, 1 in play, and they have the 4th one in the hand, they technically could play Elisa Sparkle, but why would you want to? So really all they're doing is putting those 2 extra Elisa Sparkles back into the deck. Doesn't make a whole ton of sense. They're going to go ahead and double Power Tablet to thin the hand so they can Genesect and draw a couple cards. They find a Battle Nest Ball, which they're going to go ahead and play. They can search the deck for any basic Pokemon, put it from the deck to the bench. There's not a ton of options, right? Maybe a Meloetta, maybe another 4th Genesect, but those are really the only things you're going to go ahead and get. The Nest Ball fails. They don't get anything off of the Nest Ball, and it looks like they're about to just burn those 2 Power Tablets. They really don't have anything going on. they attach the Fusion Strike energy, the fourth and final Fusion Strike energy, to that Deoxys, and they go ahead and use Genesect's ability to draw a couple of cards. So now they can't attack with Mew even if they wanted to, because they attach for turn, so they don't have the double turbo energy to attack with the Mew, and the Deoxys needs 3 energies in order to make an attack happen. So a little bit more difficult to set up than the Meloetta, and it doesn't do nearly as much damage. So they use their third and final Fusion Strike system ability for the turn. Really not a lot going on. You see the double Boss's Orders. They have a Path to the Peak, which they could use to bump my my stadium, but they just pass. So I got to draw for turn, and now they left the Mew VMAX in play. We talked about staying on a 6-prize track before. Really what this deck wants to do against Mew, knock out a Meloetta, we go down to 5 prizes. Knock out a Mew VMAX, go down to 2 prizes. Actually, you don't really want to do that because you don't want to get Roxanne, but you don't have a ton of options. But really, if our opponent just starts taking prizes, we can go ahead and use Radiant Charizard and just boss up a Genesect and KO it, or Escape Rope if they have no other Pokemon on the bench. And there we go. We attack with the Charizard for the game. Now we have 7 cards in the Lost Zone, so we are free to use Mirage Gate, drop down the Drapion, free retreat thanks to Beach Court, and there's really not a ton else I have to do here. So we just KO this Mew VMAX, take 3 free prizes. I have to put 6 damage in somewhere on my Pokemon, so I do choose the Cramorant. I don't really care if that gets KO'd. Now my opponent sends up that Deoxys, and their hand is looking rather bleak. They can go ahead and Lost Vacuum their own tool card, so they can go ahead and attach another tool and just start to thin the hand out a little bit. But there's really not a ton. This is one of the reasons why in my last video I talked about Fusion Strike Mew needing to be a little bit of a hybrid. You need a couple of Judges and Lost Cities and stuff like that. My opponent's just going to go ahead, boss up the Cramorant, use Genesect's Fusion Strike system, so now no more supporters for them, and I just have to knock out a 2-prize Pokemon, which the Drapion could do very, very easily. My opponent passes it off to me, and with the Path to the Peak in play, it's a little bit difficult, but we're able to just go ahead, Lost Vacuum it out of play, and now all I have to do is play 2 additional cards. We can attach an energy to the Cramorant to get a retreat off, and now I just get to play Boss's Orders onto any one of the Genesects, retreat into the Drapion, attack for 2 prizes, and that's the game. You can see my opponent flipping over there. Very unfortunate prizing of double turbo energy, double turbo energy, and 2 Mew Vs. Really unfortunate. Maybe they would have gotten an attack off with that Mew VMAX before, but honestly, even if they knocked out the Cramorant or something, it doesn't make a ton of difference. That's going to do it for us today. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, found this informative. Thank you very much to everybody at Illustrious Cards and Games, my locals, where I record these battles and I get to do the voiceover later. Everybody is super, super nice and accommodating to me as a content creator, and it means a lot. So thank you to everybody there. Let me know, like I said in the comments, what you thought of this battle. Are you interested in Fusion Strike Mew? Does this change how you would build your Fusion Strike Mew as you head to Milwaukee? Maybe some League Cups or challenges over the weekend. I want to know, but that's going to do it for us today. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.